Hello everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Jackie and I create mosaics using sea glass. And today I'm going to talk to you about what to do if you break a piece of your sea glass mosaic art. Because I am advocating making sea glass mosaic art on glass, either in frames or in windows. And occasionally glass will break if you drop it or if something gets set on it. And I know because it's happened to me on more than one occasion, and I've had to get fairly creative in coming up with some solutions on how to fix this. So today I'm going to show you what I've done with that. So I'm coming to you today from my husband's small business where a few of my broken mosaics have found a permanent home. And it's good that they found a place to hang where they can still look okay and be fine even though they've had some history of being broken and repaired. And the reason I'm able to shoot a video here today is because we're in the middle of this crazy pandemic and everybody's staying home and businesses are closed as this business is closed. So there's no customers milling about and it's really quiet. So I thought, well, I'll film a video and I can show you what I've done to solve some of these issues that have happened when I've broken a piece of sea glass mosaic art. So there's 4 things to think about. One of the things that will sometimes happen is that you'll get a crack in a window, and that's a fairly easy repair. All you have to do is run a bead of silicone along the back of the window. So in the back of this sea glass mosaic, you can see there's a crack right along here in the glass. So I just put a bead of silicone along that crack and on the back of it so you can't see that extra bead of silicone. And then I just did the mosaic as normal on the front. And then from the front of the mosaic, you can't even really see the crack. And this is a case where if you look at the entire mosaic in a whole, it doesn't really interfere at all with the mosaic piece. So the second situation that I've had to deal with on only one occasion is when a piece of sea glass mosaic art broke so badly it fell off a windowsill and it shattered and there was no repairing it. And the only solution with that was to recreate the mosaic. So I got another piece of glass cut and I just redid the same design with a lot of the same pieces of sea glass. I saved all my really special pieces that were in this one. So this sea glass mosaic has always been one of my favorites. So when it fell on the floor and shattered into many, many pieces, there was no repairing it. So I just got a piece of glass cut to refill the frame, and I picked off a lot of the really special pieces of sea glass and reused them. Some of them, it was just too much of a mess. I had to throw them out. But as you can see, I've got a beautiful red piece there, and I've got all these blue pieces, and I've got that amazing aqua piece right there. And I used the exact same pattern, and I just recreated the mosaic. So the only time I've ever had to totally recreate a mosaic, but well worth it. It's still one of my favorite pieces. So a third situation that you may have to deal with is if you break a sea glass mosaic that you've completed in a small frame. Now you may not be able to tell, but both of these sea glass mosaics that are hanging on the wall here have been broken. And they were both really clumsy things that I did. With this one, it was lying on the floor and I put my hand on it and leaned on it by mistake without paying attention. And then this one I dropped. And they were both broken quite badly, but in a small frame like this, what can happen is you've got all the silicone and all the pieces of sea glass on the front of the glass, and that's enough to kind of hold the broken glass from the actual piece of glass that it's glued to hold all those pieces of glass kind of in place so that you can repair them. So I'll give you a close-up view of the back of both of these and show you what I did to repair them. And now as they hang on the wall, because the broken glass is facing the wall, you don't even really see that it's broken and repaired. So here's my little sailboat completed on an 8x10 frame, and if you look at it from the front, it really looks okay. But if I flip it over, you can see how there's a break right here, and then the break just kind of spidered through all the glass. So what I did was I took my silicone, I put quite a bit of silicone right directly on the break, and then I ran a bead of silicone along each little crack in the glass. And then I took another piece of glass, you might not be able to tell on the video, but there's another piece of glass directly on top, and then it holds all of that broken glass in place. When you get glass, 8 by 10 is fairly standard cut size for glass. So I had an extra one laying around, so I just put that extra piece of glass on top of that, and then I let it set. And it worked quite well. So if you flip it over, you can see that from the front, you can't really see the cracks that are in the piece of glass that's holding the whole sea glass mosaic together. Now on my little car sea glass mosaic, it's a similar type of thing. If I flip this over, you can see that there's a main break in the glass, and then it's spidered all the way through, similar to the little sailboat. Except on this one, what happened was this is not a standard piece of a glass. So I had to get a piece of glass cut. So I did all my pieces of silicone, and then I put the piece of glass that I had cut that was the same size as the frame and put it over top. And as you can see from the front of this one, again, you can't really see the broken bits in the glass when you look at it from the front. But with both of these pieces, both this one and the sailboat, they're going to look better hanging on a wall than in a window, because you don't want someone to see that broken bit on the back of it. So the most devastating accident I ever had with one of my sea glass mosaics was with this one. I just finished the sea glass mosaic, I took it down to the beach, got some beautiful photos, and no sooner were the photos completed, and wham, a gust of wind came along and blew it against a piece of driftwood and put a hole right through it. So I was able to repair it, and now it hangs in a window at my husband's work. It's up kind of high, so you can't really see the broken parts of it unless you look really closely. So I'll show you what I did to repair this one. So here's the back of my sea glass bridge. Now in a piece this big, if I had another piece of glass cut to put in the back of it, it would make the piece way too heavy, because it's pretty heavy as it starts anyway. So what I did with this one, where all the little cracks are, you can see I put a bead of silicone along each of those little cracks. But where the hole was, where the piece of driftwood went through, I just put one larger piece of glass there. Actually, I used 2 pieces of glass to cover that hole and reinforce it. And then with just all those little spiders, once the silicone dried along each little crack, it is enough to hold it in place. So a little bit of a different approach on that one. I didn't cover the entire back with one solid piece of glass. And then you see from the front, it still looks pretty good. Now, if you look really close to where the crack was and the repairs, you can kind of see through it. But where it hangs up pretty high in a window, you don't really notice it. And from a distance, it still has quite a stunning effect. So thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you found this video helpful, although I do hope that you do not ever need this video, because I'm hoping you won't break a piece of sea glass mosaic art. I have to admit, after my experiences of breaking sea glass mosaic art, I've come to the conclusion that I might be a little bit clumsy. So hopefully it doesn't happen again to me, and I hope it doesn't happen to you. And my thoughts also go out to you if you are in a position of being involved with a small business and you're affected by that, given this COVID pandemic. I know we are quite affected, and I'm really feeling your pain, believe me. So I hope you stay healthy, and I hope you stay occupied if you're stuck at home. And if you do have to go to work, my thoughts are with you, and stay healthy. So until next time, can't wait to get back to the beach and go sea glass hunting again.